back to another episode of Oyster Boy Survives with me, Oyster Boy. I'm glad you could join me today. And as I discussed in the previous episode, today we're going to leave the island with our castaway and his family, and we're going to move on to explore the location where the people who built the Moai, these large heads, came from. Because they don't come from here. So it's time to set off in search of a new story, or rather, a storyline that extends outward from this story. We're going to work our way back. Where did these people come from? Are they still there? What are they doing there? So, don't be sad. We can always come back to the Castaway Island. Vincent and his family will always be there for us when we decide to return. Whoo-wee! My chunks are not rendering, are they? Let's stop here for a second and get a look out in front of us. Okay. Wow. Man, these chunks don't want to load. Okay, so I've been this far before. That's just a little dinky island. There's nothing there. And somewhere around here is the... there it is. There is the automatic fish farm. I am bringing my fishing rod with me, so... Right. Alright, so we'll skate by these islands over here. We might as well take a look at them. I know there's not much to see here, because I have been to this island before. It's not much bigger than the home island, so I don't think we'll be stopping here. Alright, let's do this the old-fashioned way. Let's just hop out, have a look around. By the way, I apologize about the audio in the previous video. I know the voice audio sounded a little better, but the game audio was absent. Not this time, though. You should be hearing all of this. Alright, that looks interesting. There is some cool stuff up ahead. But this is just a tiny little island. And I think we're done with tiny little islands for now. We're going to move on to something bigger. Alright, let's move on. Keep going in this general direction. Now, we may come back to these islands and add more Moai. You know, it seems reasonable if those people traveled west all the way back to where we were, where the Castaway is, then they might have traveled west to these little islands and put Moai there. Alright, so that... You know what that is? What is this called? I'm trying to remember what the name of this biome is. It's not a taiga, but it's like a Mega Taiga? Super Taiga? Something like that? She's really, really, really tall spruces. Wow. And there's some, if I remember, there's some 2x2 kind of, yeah, you find trees like this in a Mega Taiga. And you find podzol. Podzol and mossy cobble just sort of spawns here. Wow. Okay, I'm getting some interesting ideas, but let's keep moving around here. Let's just take a look. Yeah, this is cool. Get a little light going in here. That's interesting. I think there's a little... It's either an indent or a small cave entrance. I hope it's a cave entrance, but it's probably just an indent. More podzol. And we'll need silk touch if we want to pick up the podzol. My understanding is that podzol just turns into dirt if you pick it up in, you know, with just a normal shovel. I don't have a silk touch shovel, but I do have a silk touch pick, and that will be good enough. I love these big trees. I thought I saw in the distance some fancier ones when we were pulling up to the shore, off in this direction. Sorry about all this bouncing. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is really cool. This is a very cool location. Wow. I like this spot right here. Look at this. Look at this beautiful cove. And then these tall trees. Okay. I am getting an idea. In fact, I think I'm getting 2 or 3 ideas that all work together. Whoa! Hey, hey! Oh, man. Don't set me on fire. I think I've got a couple of ideas. Oh, good. There's a water hole here, too. Sweet. Or is that part of the cove? Actually, that looks like it's part of the cove. Look at this tree. Cool. Very, very cool. Look at those. Now, there you go. Those are what I think of as Mega Taiga trees. Look at those. Like giant Christmas trees. Now, is this coarse dirt or is this just dirt? You can see all the junk I brought with me. That is coarse dirt. Okay. So coarse dirt won't grow grass, right? And then we have plenty of clay. Yeah, there's lots of opportunity. Ooh, there's a wolf. There's a couple wolves. We could get some dogs going. I think that'd be a good idea. I just want to move out here and see what's on this little peninsula. This would be a good place to put a fishing hut or something. Out here. Oh, look at that underwater feature. Isn't that cool? It's like a river valley, but it's in the middle of the ocean. It looks like the landmass extends out in that direction. So we seem to have found a place where it indents, and then it, unless that's an island, it seems to sort of branch out extensively. Got to bring our boat over here. I don't want to lose it. Yeah, there's this like little isthmus of land. There's a good word for your kids if you don't know that word. Isthmus. They'll teach that to you in earth science. There's this little isthmus of land. Oh, wow. That's a sort of interesting feature. Look at that. It's like this huge depression. Just a little tiny wall of sand up against this huge mass of water. Isn't that interesting? Got lots of red mushrooms and brown mushrooms. I see mushroom stew in our future. Good. I did bring some resources with me. Let's get up high before I start dorking around in my inventory. I don't want to get slaughtered out here. All right. How is it I still have that sand in my inventory? I thought I ditched it. Okay. All right. Let's just derp up. There we go. Up, 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 up. We'll go up here and we'll plonk the bed down. This looks like as good a spot as any. Wow, this is one interesting place. All right, let's get some sleep on. What a pretty location. Okay. Just so that we don't have any mobs coming out to grab us. All right, I want to get that dirt. Something like floating dirt. It's a thing. I have a thing about floating dirt. I don't like it. All right, we'll get the rest of that some other time. All right, so we're going to have to set up some sort of just a rudimentary temporary structure to, live in while we're getting the setting laid out, getting the thing that I'm thinking about built. Before we do that, I'll just go over what I brought with me. So I brought, diamonds, lapis lazuli, coal, redstone, iron. Obviously going to need all those things. Ender balls, in case we want to go looking for the stronghold. We may still want to do that. Didn't bring any blaze powder, but I can go back and get some. Glowstone, some quartz, fishing pole, furnaces, saplings of all the different types we've found thus far. some name tags, couple saddles in case we find some horses, horse armor for the same reason, couple leads for the same reason, and a bed, and of course our suite of tools and armor. So that's what I brought along with me. Isn't that lovely? That's a really beautiful cove. Look at that. I like this land. This is I'm really glad we came this way. Okay, so let's talk about what I'm thinking. When I see tall trees like this, it's just something that always pops into my head, especially with jungles. I've never actually tried to do it in a Mega Taiga, but I would like to try it. I think I want to do a treetop village. And this is when the village is raised up off the ground. So what you'd end up with is lots of plank walkways between trees, walkways going around trees, and like tree houses up in the trees. But why do that? I want to have a reason, right? So here's what I'm thinking. Okay, so the people who built the Moai, their original city is still here. It's made out of old, broken down cobble, mossy cobble. It's going to be overgrown with vines. I'm going to have to find some vines somewhere, but that shouldn't be too hard. I can go around and find vines somewhere. Start a farm for them if I have to. So they're going to have a city here, but the city is going to be in ruins, and they don't live in it. They live above it in the trees. And the reason they live above it is there's a curse on it. And the curse makes everything that enters the city become sick and die. And what we'll do is we'll make the ground around the city look dead. We'll use like obsidian and coal blocks and, I don't know, black wool blocks if we have to make the ground just look really gross and dead. And so basically the citizens still live on the land, the people still live on that land, but now they live up on the tops of the trees to escape the curse, because whatever it is, whatever evil aura or sickness or whatever it is, magic that extends from the ruined city doesn't extend all the way to the tops of the trees. So they live up there now. And we can probably find a way to get some walkways down to the water so they can get to the beach if they want to. But for whatever reason, they refuse to leave. They won't just leave the city behind. Or maybe most of them have, and these are the people who decided, no, we're staying. This is our land. So what we need to do is we need to find a place here that's suitable for that kind of story. I like the idea, but what we need for that, unless we want to do a butt ton of landscaping, which, we're going to have to do some landscaping, but I really don't want to have to, like, reshape an area that's, 500 blocks by 500 blocks. We need an area that's kind of low, where the ground doesn't go too high, and the trees go very high. So like a spot like this, where this big hill is here, this isn't as good. Because then you would just say, well, why don't they just live on the hill? So you'd have to put city up on the hill and down here on the ground. So what we want to do is we want to try to find an area that's a little bit flatter, where we still have the very tall Mega Taiga trees. So that's what I'm kind of doing now. I'm sort of scanning around. We have a river running right through here. Sort of scanning around and looking for a place that speaks to me, that I look at and in my mind's eye, I see the possibility for how the city will stretch out. This might be the place. It's kind of low over here. The trees are nice and tall, and we can always build more trees if we need to. This isn't too bad. It is rising up a little bit here, but we could maybe strip some of this down. It is a little high over the sea, though. Boy, it sure is pretty, isn't it? What do you guys think of that idea? Anybody get any ideas? Does that sounded like a really stupid idea, or can you come up with a better idea? I mean, because I could just build a stone city, and just to have the people live in the city. One of the challenges is I would like to, obviously we're going to need some villagers. And if I don't find a village around here, which I probably won't, we'll end up having to cure more zombie villagers. So that would be kind of challenging. But the other nice thing is the Castaway Island. You know, we know where it is. It's really not too far from here. I mean, we rode over here in just a couple minutes. So I can go back there, and the underground resource center, I can just crack it open and gather whatever I need and bring it back here. So I may end up having to make multiple trips there. What's this? Isn't that pretty? I'm a sucker for the ocean. I just love these landforms that form around the ocean. Still got tall trees here. Maybe over here is better. Lots of pigs, huh? This is pig central. Don't see any sheep, have you noticed? No sheep. Just pigs. Pigs and wolves. Well, maybe that's why there's no sheep. Because of the wolves. We've seen that one before. We've seen that story play out before. This might be better. This might be better. Yeah, we're still getting the tall. Well, here's a big mound. But let's just see. I don't know. This may be typical of Mega Taiga. Let me just check the... You know, why am I saying that? Let me check the biome. What's it called? Redwood Taiga. Redwood Taiga Hills. So if we could find Redwood Taiga that doesn't have hills, then that would probably be the most ideal place to put our city. This may be it. One, two, three. There's 3 big trees. There's a 4th one and 5th one back there. I feel like they need to be denser, but we can make more trees. I'm not worried about that. We can build these. They're just spruce wood and spruce leaves. I think this may be the spot. The coves were prettier over there, but the land seems a little bit more uniform here, which would make our job easier. Yeah. I think this may be the spot. What is this? This is just... Oh, it is called Mega Taiga. Look at that. Sorry. So even though it's got these tall trees in it, it's not Redwood Taiga? No, Mega Taiga. I think this is where we want to do it. So... Yeah. This is it. Imagine a treetop village here. We're going to have more of these trees like this one and trees like that one. We're going to build more of them so that the tall trees are denser. There's more of them. And we're going to put walkways between them that circle around them, and we're going to have little wooden huts up there. And down here, we're going to have a ruined stone city. It's going to be ancient, covered with moss and vines, and it's going to be crumbling down and broken. So you'll recognize the building. I mean, you'll be able to tell, oh, these are buildings, but maybe some of them won't have roofs because they'll caved in, or they have partial roofs. No glass in the windows, no wooden doors anymore. That will all be up there. And we'll have some way, which I haven't quite worked out yet, but we'll have some way where you can get from the treetops down to the sea without ever touching the city. So that gives us a huge building project. And it also allows us to switch things up. I can work on the city in one episode, and the next episode I can work on the treetops. And then I can work in the city, and then I can work in the treetops. And it also gives us a lot of storylines. Once we start populating the city with villagers, which is going to be challenging, getting them up there. Once we start populating the city with villagers, we can start to name them and start figuring out what their stories are. You know, what do they do, and what's their role in the village, blah, blah, blah. And, oops, getting late. But not that late. What's their role in the village? And then furthermore, where's the curse come from? Why is the city cursed? I was thinking about that too. That sort of came to me while we were discussing it. But what if they've also... back when the city was new, they started mining, and they dug up something, you know, Oh, like as in Tolkien, the dwarves dug a little too deeply. Maybe they dug up something, and that released this curse upon the land, so that the city died, and the only people who survived were the people who left the city or scrambled up these trees. Um, and for whatever reason, I think that these lands are probably sacred to them, and they're looking for a way to undo the evil that was done. And until they find that, they're committed to stay in this area. And so the only way they can do it is by staying up in the trees. And what we can do is maybe at the bottom of the trees we can actually replace some of the wood, with darker stuff, so that it looks like this sort of evil pestilence is working its way up through the wood, and it can only go so far. I think that's a compelling setting, which opens up the possibility for a lot of stories. And I think that if we do that, it's going to be very cool. All right, so we set our spawn here. Let me just get the coordinates of this location, because I don't want to lose the spot. So we're at 776,555. Very good. All right, so that's written down. 777,555. Oh, that's easy to remember. Okay. All right, so let's go find our boat. There's the boat. Boy, this is a really beautiful location, though, even if the ground isn't quite perfect for what we want to do. Nope. It's going to be 777,555. That's where we're going. So, yeah, we went about 500 blocks. My bad. All right. Well, this has been interesting. I hope you like this new location, this new land. I think it's very, very cool. And after we get the Poison City, for lack of a better name, built, the Treetop Village built, populated with people, there are always other stories we can pursue. If we decide we don't want to pursue that anymore, we can move on to other things, just like we did with the Castaway Island. As long as there's a story to tell, we have things to do. And there will always be a story to tell. There will always be more stories. All right, where are we? So it was 777,555, right? All right, so we've got to go around this sandbar here. This is cool. We kind of have sandbars going around like a cove. I like sandbars. Sandbars are cool. All right. Yeah, this is it. It's right over here. I think we got to go through here. Look at those trees. Gorgeous. I really love those conical ones there. Okay. Pretty sure this is the spot. 722,539. Yeah, we're very close. I just want to head over here and try to find the bed so I get a sense of the location. I think it's right up here. Ah, there it is. Good. Good. And so the boat's right over there. All right. All right. So, folks, this is where we are going to build. This will be the location. Get a little dirt, and we'll derp up before I say goodbye, just so you can destroy this pothole. Just so that you can get a sense of the area. There we go. That should be plenty. Lovely. All right. All righty. Gonna have to build some gardens in the sky too, because those people aren't going to be able to go to the ground to farm. That should be interesting. All right. This is the spot. This is a beautiful place. I love it. I really, really like this location. All right. Well, I want to thank you for joining me today. I know we didn't actually build anything at all. We just talked and wandered around, but that's pretty natural since we're moving to a new location. Um, I hope you'll join me next time for the next episode of Oyster Boy Survives, when we can actually start building this city. But until then, bye bye.